It's us again, Brad Jim here for another episode of 11 South Mysteries.
This is another. What we're going to be talking about is another Tennessee.
This should be a quickie, a little quickie for you.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about something that is very we're at the haunted house, Halloween Hollow, one of our sponsors. We worked the haunted house for years. I've worked it for years, and every year I hear about, well, won't you do something based on this? Yeah, every year. And we're gonna tell the story. So today we're going to talk about the Bell Witch. All right, it's pretty prominent. This is actually a location you can visit, the cave in which this happened.
Yeah, I've been there.
It's not. I mean, it's there. I went. I was kind of like, it's a cave. You go to a spot, you can't go any further into the cave. I say it's technically a private residence. Like somebody owns the cave, so you can tour it in the summer and October.
Yeah,
but it's folklore and it's pretty damn well spooky.
Yeah,
when you really look into it. So the Bell Witch Cave, or the Bell Witch Haunting, it's a legend based in northwest Robertson County. All right, it's along the Red River, and the town is near Adams, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay. So it starts, with John Bell Sr., a farmer in the area. And according to legend, from 1817 to 1821, his family in the local area became under attack by a mostly invisible entity that was able to speak. So it was like a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Like Pennywise the Clown or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Something out of a Stephen King novel.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Some accounts record that the spirit also could have been what's called a clairvoyant, and is capable of crossing long distances with superhuman speed, or even being able to be at more than one place at a time. So,
it's super spooky.
Spooky dooky.
Spooky dooky album.
And I don't I believe, I'm one of the people that believe, there's an afterlife.
Yeah.
And you may sit here for a while and leave or hang around. I believe that, when you're gone, that, you're not just gone forever. I think there's a part of you that remains. So, yeah. So clairvoyant, something that can be super fast, like a flash, be in more than one place at once. There's a book out there called An Authenticated History of the Bell Witch.
Martin V. England.
About Martin V. England. And it was published, I believe, in 1894. And the poltergeist's name was Kate. And after the entity claimed at one point to be Old Kate Batts Witch.
Kate Batts.
So just a little bit for people that don't know. I grew up, and there's such things as real witches.
Yeah.
Okay, when you hear witch, it's kind of like a taboo thing, right? Like a cauldron and poisoning kids and luring them into your house made of candy. No, witches in the South, there's different kinds. There's land witches, there's water witches. Like a water witch, you've ever seen the guys walk around with the two rods and they cross and there's water in them?
Yeah.
There's a water witches.
Cool.
So you drive through the South or out the country, you see barns, you see the quilt on the side of the barn.
Yeah.
It's like a quilt. It's like something for a witch. Yeah, it's really weird. I grew up my friends' houses would have mirrors in the window facing outward, and it's to cast spells backwards. It's I asked them one day, and they told me Never thought of that. Just not my. Didn't grow up that way.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So like next time you're driving through the South, you see like there's a bolt on a ball over there. I wonder what that means.
So now you know.
Yeah. There's a witch. There's a witch about. Not all witches are bad witches. Some witches just want to dig you a well. All right. Kate Batts, witch, and continue to respond favorably to the name. The physical activity centered on the Bells' youngest daughter, Betsy, and her father. And Kate expressed particular displeasure when Betsy became engaged to a local named Joshua Gardner. Or Josh. Already with a crazy witch.
Oh yeah.
The haunting began sometime in 1817 when John Bell witnessed the apparition of a strange creature resembling a dog. Bell fired at the animal, but it disappeared. John's son, Drew Bell, approached an unknown bird perched on a fence that flew off and was of extraordinary size. And I quote, extraordinary size.
How big you think? Think it's a Thunderbird size?
I would say maybe it was a dodo. I mean, were they not extinct? They weren't extinct then. It could have been a dodo.
Maybe.
So, an extraordinary sized bird. The daughter, Betsy, observed a girl in a green dress swinging from the limb of an oak tree. This was fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids are the creepiest thing in the world. Okay.
They're definitely creepy as hell.
Dean, a person enslaved by the Bell family, because this is again the South in the early 1800s.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I lost my spot. Enslaved by the Bell family. Reported being followed by a large black dog on evenings he visited his wife. Activity moved to the Bell household, with knocking heard along the doors and walls.
That has to be creepy as hell.
Yeah, I mean, you go to some of these, older estates that were like Two Rivers.
Yeah.
Two Rivers Mansion's a perfect example of it on McGavick Pike in Nashville. That place is creepy as hell. Like the tall ceilings and stuff. It's really Two Rivers Mansion.
I don't know if I've ever been there.
It's creepy as hell. Beautiful in the day, creepy as hell at night. And we did like all of us went together and we went and it was like a drink mixer thing and they made like some mixed drinks and told like ghost stories. That's fucking spooky. And then that was a Two Rivers Mansion, but there was another like house next to it. That was a house they were living in while they were building Two Rivers Mansion. And that house was even creepier than the first one.
Would that give you a spooky dookie in there?
I would hate to like a spooky dookie. Like I'm happy I wore my Depends. It was fun. It was very bad. Like it's like antebellum style mansions are creepy at night.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, definitely creepy as hell. We should definitely do stuff like that. Go to places like that.
Yeah, I'll plan on it. Like I plan on doing things like that when it's not freezing cold outside.
Too cold right now.
And not too hot because we're fat and we can't handle that shit.
Oh yeah,
a good 85.
He about died in a cornfield last year. So.
Don't bring back traumatizing memories.
He knows how to plant corn, y'all. You need corn made or corn grew.
Don't call me. So the family heard sounds, knocking. They heard like gnawing on the beds. Invisible dogs were fighting, and chains along the floor. Was that like Marley from Ghost of Christmas?
Yeah,
like one of the ghosts.
Christmas Past.
Marley. Mm-hmm. About this time, John Bell began experiencing, this is weird, paralysis of the mouth. The phenomenon grew in intensity as sheets were pulled from beds when the family slept. Soon the entity pulled hair and scratched the children with particular emphasis on Betsy, who was slapped, pinched, and stuck with pins.
That would suck so bad.
Like, whatever this is like, fuck you, Betsy.
Tear your ass up.
Betsy, I don't like your name. Get up out of my house. Oh, Betsy. Poor Betsy. The Bells turned to family friend James Johnston for help. After retiring for the evening at the Bell home, Johnston was awakened that night by the same phenomenon. That morning, he told John Bell it was a spirit, just like in the Bible. Soon, word of the haunting spread, with some traveling great distances to see the witch. The apparition began to speak out loud and was asked, "Who are you and what do you want?" And the voice answered feebly, "I am a spirit. I was once very happy, but have been disturbed." The spirit offered diverse explanations of why it had appeared, tying its origin to the disturbance of a Native American burial mound located on the property. Now that, to me, is believable. My great grandmother was part Cherokee, and I seen her sage a house,
Yeah,
and that is intense. That is intense. That whole house shook. No,
Didn't like the sage. Huh?
like that's.
What is it about the sage they don't like? I wonder.
I don't understand it, but every time I like move into a new place, or like I'm having like bad luck, I sage my house, and it like gets better. Like it chills everything out. Like everybody's like the mood's better in the house. Like it seems like it brightens up the house. It's crazy. So it started to speak out about a Native American burial ground mound located on the property, and sent Drew Bell and Bennett Porter on the unproductive search for buried treasure. With the emergence of full conversations, the spirit repeated word for word 2 sermons given 13 miles apart at the same time. The entity was well acquainted with biblical texts and appeared to enjoy religious arguments. As another amusement, the witch shared gossip about activities in other households, and at times appeared to leave for brief moments to visit homes after an inquiry. John Johnston, a son of James, devised a test for the witch, something no one outside his family would know, asking the entity what his Dutch step-grandmother in North Carolina would say to the slaves if she thought they did something wrong. The witch replied with his grandmother's accent, "Hut, hut, what has happened now?" That's not like,
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know what that means, but if that was legit, that does not seem like something someone would say to their slaves, in my opinion.
Not at all.
And I visualize a lot of hatred in those times.
Very much.
In another account, an Englishman stopped to visit and offered to investigate. On remarking on his family overseas, the witch suddenly began to mimic his English parents. Again, in the early morning, the witch woke him to voices of his parents, worried as they had heard his voice as well. The Englishman quickly left that morning and later wrote to the Bell family that the entity had visited his family in England. He apologized for his skepticism.
I want that kind of power.
So like, okay, so that's crazy. They're 13 miles apart. Okay, maybe you can pinch that together.
Some bitch jumped over the ocean.
Like the whole ass ocean, and like talking to your parents.
Skip the fucking iceberg and everything.
And then like a British accent. You got to think early 1800s in the South. Doesn't really seem like you're gonna have a really British accent at that time.
It's like they had the Southern accent by then.
I would say it was definitely becoming prominent.
Who started it? They had to have wanted to start it so because they didn't want to sound like that no more. The English.
I think they just got more rural and they stopped talking to people, so they stopped doing proper. So it became less proper the further away you get.
Yeah.
From large towns.
And as I guess evolution, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not like that word evolution. Yeah, that's like
science. It's like customer service. When I'm at work, I'm like, "Thank you for calling today. when I'm at home, I was like, "What the fuck you want?" You know,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna keep talking like I normally do at work.
Professional voice.
Yeah. At times, the spirit displayed a form of kindness, especially towards Lucy, John Bell's wife, the most perfect woman to walk the earth, the witch would give Lucy fresh fruit and sing hymns to her and show John Bell Jr. a measure of respect.
Felt like this was a lesbian.
But Betsy, fuck you, Betsy. That's what that witch was saying.
All the way up the wall.
Referring to John Bell Sr.'s old Jack, the witch claimed she intended to kill him and signaled this intention through curses, threats, and afflictions. The story climaxes with the Bell patriarch being poisoned by the witch. Afterward, the entity interrupted the mourners by singing drinking songs.
So what was that up there?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't, "Oh no, the witch is dead." I'm pretty sure it wasn't that, but like drinking songs.
Would it be like that one, the pirate one on the ship?
Yo ho. Like that. Yeah.
That just never stops. It keeps on going.
Oh god. Oh, it's creepy. In 1821, as a result of the witch's entreatment, Betsy Bell called off her engagement to Joshua Gardner. Subsequently, the entity told the family it was going to leave, but returned in 7 years in 1828. The witch returned on time to Lucy and her sons, Richard and Joel, with similar activities as before, but they chose not to encourage it, and the witch appeared to leave again.
But and I made sure because my daughter Ashton kept picking up rocks out of the cave. I was like, put it down. Man, you hear these people telling about how people have bad luck after taking stuff out of this cave. Don't you? I will.
We got bad luck enough, girl. Put that shit down.
Yeah.
So several accounts say that during his military career, Andrew Jackson was intrigued by the story as and his men were frightened away after traveling to investigate. In an independent oral tradition recorded in the vicinity of Panola County, Mississippi, the witch was the ghost of an unpleasant overseer John Bell murdered in North Carolina. In this tradition, the spirit falls in love with the central character, Mary, leading to their death. The account is reminiscent of vampire lore. The supernatural powers attributed to the Tennessee spirit have also been compared to that of Jinn, Jinn in mythology.
Yeah.
So I've like heard like okay, this isn't telling like the stories that like
Oh, this is
stories
June
I've
over
heard.
here.
So I've heard that fucking Andrew Jackson or a president of some sort or governor or something rolled up in that bitch on a horse and buggy. Got off the horse and buggy and the horse and buggy rolled off on him.
Yeah, our horse was. Well, I'm having
Like it took off. Like the horse wasn't attached. Like it just
flu.
like took like walked its way away.
Oh.
I don't know how accurate that is, but that's like the stories I heard as a kid. But definitely like I would say we're rolling on 20 minutes here. I would definitely say if you're in the area, and this is between Clarksville and Nashville, right? Am I mistaken?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in between Clarksville and Nashville, if you're coming from the north, you're coming from Paducah, coming out 24 into Nashville, definitely it's worth a stop in Adams and to see the Bell Witch Cave. It's still a good stop. Stretch your feet, go see it.
Just remember, don't take no pictures.
Don't take no rocks. Like do you, but be responsible.
Yeah.
I mean it's a pretty cool lore thing in Tennessee. Yeah. So like I'm not saying that like these accounts are accurate,
Yeah.
but like with the Indian burial stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if shit went down. Like
Probably.
like to the effect of this, maybe like a personal thing, like whispers or scratches. I can see that, but I don't see like no full blown drinking songs with 100 mortals at a funeral.
Yeah.
Like I don't like or a full blown. I don't see having a full blown conversation with something that's not over there.
Yeah.
Because personally, I'd be like, fuck that. I'm kind of into this shit. So I'd be like, if it happened to me, I'd be like, fuck it.
I'm out.
Like, I'm not going to, like, especially like 1800s, you know?
Yeah, just cabins with no power, just candle lit.
I'm not going to, like, talk to something that's not there. Like, something's there. I'm like, yeah, fuck this. But
yeah, so that was the Bell Witch.
Thank you for our sponsor of this episode, Halloween Hollow.
Yes.
Horror Basement and Beyond podcast. Make sure you check them out. Gorgeous Schools on Instagram and all that good stuff.
Yep.
All good folks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the next episode.
Y'all want to hear something? Put it in the comments, messages.
Yes.
We'll try to get it in, and we'll kind of release as much as possible. We're kind of going through. This is our second episode here.
Yes.
So,
second episode. Like you said, hit us up. Guess that's it. We're gonna.
stay safe.
Yeah.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Lock your windows. Jesus, how many people locked their, like, somebody broke into my house. My window was open. Lock your freaking windows.
Yeah. Yeah, these days you got to do that. This is not the before Paul Dennis Reed days, which he didn't break into houses.
He didn't break into houses, okay?
But still.
If you see something out of place, always suspect the worst. Back to you, Jibby.
See y'all.